4 games. Nico will miss 4 games as he is enduring a hamstring injury. And what went from bad, that he was going to be out week number 6, he suffered the hamstring injury apparently on the long touchdown strike, a 60-plus touchdown strike from C.J. Stroud to Nico Collins. Amazing play. He re-injured a hamstring injury that he had suffered a couple weeks back. And this isn't good because re-injury of injuries is usually setting you back to way before ground zero. Meaning that you suffer an injury, you wait 2 weeks, you come back, you re-injure it. In this case, it seems like it's about a 3-week absence between injury and this particular re-injury, or a 3-week amount of time. And so that doesn't just set him back 3 weeks, it sets him back further. That's typically how these work. If you have some injury and you wait a specific amount of time and you re-injure it, you're going well past that amount of time you sat out. It's not an exact science, but it's pretty damn alarming, especially when he goes to IR, when he's expected to miss a game, maybe 2, maybe 3. Now it's IR without a hesitation, and he's out 4 games. Could it be longer? It could. It depends on how bad the re-injury was. If the fact that his head coach said it's going to be a while, it's going to be at least a few games. It's very much thought A.J. Brown's timetable. We'll dig into that, but Nico Collins out 4 games. It's going to hurt. It's going to sting. This is a top 5 wide receiver. In fact, he leads the entire league with 567 receiving yards. But there are pros to this, you could say. Not that celebrating injury on any level is good. We love Nico. Nico's a absolute bona fide stud. But Tank Dell goes to the moon. Diggs has increased value. Doesn't help Stroud. So Stroud takes a little bit of a season-long dip, right? We already expected him to be without his star wide receiver for 2-3 games. Now he's out with his out as star wide receiver for 4 games minimum, and this could linger into 5 or 6 games. We have no idea. We can only assume the best, and it could be the case that he misses just the 4 games. But Nico to the moon, the Fantasy Football Show breaking news edition, the Nico Collins, Tank Dell to the moon, the Nico Collins injury show, the Tank Dell to the moon show, the Are We Worried About Stroud show begins right now. File in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Tank Dell goes to the moon. He does, plain and simple. All the Tank Dell haters are going to have to, especially the ones that came in at the end of last week and were like, I'm dropping Dell. I'm sorry, I'm done with Dell. It's going to be a real painful day for those individuals. But, yeah, Nico Collins out 4 games is going to sting because he's a top 5 wide receiver. That's such a brutal loss. A.J. Brown out 4 games previous was a big, stinger. Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. The hits just keep coming. Thankfully, Deebo's back now. Thankfully, A.J. Brown's back now. Thankfully, Kupp is on the horizon of coming back. He's got a bye week this week, Cooper Kupp, and then he's back. Puka Nacua is probably a week or 2 or 3, depending on how he progresses away from coming back. But, 4 weeks is brutal. So you got to ask yourself, do you trade Nico? We'll have to dig into that. Do you trade for Dell? Do you trade Dell away on the high because he's on your bench and you're not using him? And you're like, dang it, I didn't think I'd have a shot at maybe getting rid of him or something. I don't feel that way about him, but if you can't use him and now he's got injected value, you could couple that with an RB to upgrade an RB in some sort of 2 sending away for 1. So there's a lot of ways to discuss this, break it down, talk about it as it relates to your lineup, your league, your situation. But Nico Collins certainly stinging his owners today, and you can't blame him. It's not his fault. It's a hamstring injury. The only thing I would say is he has been dealing with this for a little while. It's been very understated because he's been able to perform and play. But a couple weeks back is when he tweaked the injury in practice, popped up on the injury report, and everyone's like, oh my God, he's on the injury report with a hamstring. Hamstrings and calf injuries, it's like they're the new ACL of the year ACL became a thing. It's like injuries were never really a problem on a grand scale in terms of one injury wiping out like player after player after player until the dreaded ACL became a thing, if you remember back handfuls of years ago. And now ever since then, it seems like these injuries come in waves. We had calf injuries last year lingering into this year, and Achilles injuries relating to that as the calf, three muscles in the calf kind of turn into the Achilles. So very commonly correlated. Those now become a big problem. And now we have hamstrings wiping out players left and right. The good news is that it should be a 4-week absence. That's why they put him on IR, to make sure he's not tempted to try and push this thing. And he'll actually use that timetable to rest instead of saying, I'm out 2 or 3 weeks. I want to test it after week 2, or whatever. The only thing we can't assume too much, though, because you don't know how his hamstring's healing, because you can't have him tested. He has to be resting. He's going to do some rehab and such, and they'll be able to kind of have a good barometer of whether he's out. He's going to be out longer, like, oh my God, this thing's not healing. We got to take a look at more imaging, whatever. We should have that kind of, feel in a couple weeks if there's something drastically wrong in terms of not healing. But we won't have him out there testing it, firing off, just firing off on the hamstring, which will ignite, and flare up again. We won't have that information until 4 weeks away. So there's no real way to 100% guarantee that, 4 weeks will be fine because A.J. Brown needed 4 weeks. This player needed 4 weeks. That is the common amount of time. Every tear, every injury is different. And a strain, a small injury like this is still a tear. Like when you have a calf strain, it's still a tear to a degree. It's just a low grade. People I don't think understand it. Even when you work out, you're tearing your muscles every time you work out. You do a set of curls, you're tearing the muscles just slightly, and then they grow back stronger. Then you tear them slightly the next time you work out. They grow back stronger. That's the way muscles work. You tear a hamstring, you're tearing it beyond that point, and that's when it becomes a problem, right? So that the muscles are designed to endure a tear in the small sense of you're building up those muscles. But when you tear something to a grade 1, then you're at risk of turning it into a grade 2, and then at risk of turning it into a grade 3. Or even a grade 1, you could stress the muscle so much that you tear it from a 1 straight to a grade 3 tear, which requires surgery. We don't know what the extent is of this actual tear. Could Nico Collins pushing it through week 3, week 4, and then re-injuring the hamstring that he pushed in week 5, did he cause a tear that is bigger than what A.J. Brown was dealing with? That's why we can't just translate what's going on with A.J. Brown over to Nico and say this is what it is. I think a lot of people do that in the industry, and they shouldn't, because they don't know what they're talking about. So we don't know. We don't know, and we won't know. We're gonna play a guessing game whether or not he goes out in 3 weeks from now and semi-tests it. 4 weeks from now, how's his rehab going? And then he could go out there, his first game, fired off, and be re-injured that same game because he tore it, pushed it. His body's not in the same shape that A.J. Brown's was coming off of his 4th game. So we'll see what's up, or coming off of his absence. We'll figure out what we're gonna do. Dell definitely to the moon. Shame on anybody that dropped Tank Dell. And no, this wasn't required for Dell to have a rebound or resurgence at all. It'll only help. It'll amplify whatever Dell was gonna do and prove people wrong. It's now amplified. tenfold because Dell is his trusty wide receiver. He likes Diggs, but Diggs is not his downfield threat. There's two things you got to keep in mind in terms of why Nico's going to reemerge, why he will 100, unless he gets injured, 100% going to be back on the map. Why? Because Dell and Nico are both field stretchers. Diggs has been not necessarily his downfield target. He's been a very good target, a reliable target. He'll be his cross the middle guy near the red zone. He's a great, nose for the end zone. But Nico and Dell were stretching the field. Nico's a very nice target, very easy to connect with. Muscle, strong, can outmaneuver anybody. Jump ball specialist. There's a lot of great qualities that Nico has that Dell doesn't in terms of that downfield possession threat. Like, he's a possession receiver downfield. That's how he's big, he's strong, he's different than Dell. Dell's slippery, can get past the defense on long, big plays. And this has become a reliable source for Stroud when he's looking downfield. And he's still needing to look downfield. He's going to now say, well, now my only option is Tank Dell. There's going to be an oversaturation of downfield looks heading in the direction of Tank Dell. So Dell to the freaking moon. We're looking at maybe a resurgence into the high-end wide receiver 2 value. Maybe he fails. Maybe he gets injured. We can't know those things. We just know that Dell's in a proper position to rebound, and not only rebound to a good degree, but rebound in a massive way. And he can also gain back a little bit of the rapport that was lost maybe when Dell went down last year and Stroud had to reconvene and figure out what his priority pecking order and check down list would become in terms of reliability and what he's going to look to first. And now he's looking at Nico, right? Nico goes down and Dell's still in the picture, but for whatever reason, it's not clicking this year. He's going to reestablish that rapport with Dell. And then when Nico comes back, maybe there's more of a balance involved. Not saying he takes back over. I'm admitting here that I think Nico's a top 5 wide receiver. The metrics show it. The yardage shows that he's 567 yards right now. Receiving yards, it's number 1 in the NFL. Nico is a boss. He's a top 5 wide receiver monster. But he does appear to have a little bit of an injury, maybe injury history. Well, it's a little early in his career to deem him an injury-prone player, but we do have to wonder and worry a little bit about that. Let's hit a few of these super chats and see what is what. This is the first one from Kilpatrick, and Kilpatrick says 2 QB dynasty, trade Dak, CD, and Lockett for Josh Allen and Devontae Smith. I think I probably would. Trade Dak, CD, and Lockett. I'm not really worried about Lockett. So Dak and CD for Josh Allen and Devontae Smith. I probably take Dak and CD. I know Josh Allen's a monster. And I may have answered this one slightly different yesterday too. But in a 2 QB league, it changes a little bit. Like, this question was asked in a 1 QB sense, and I think I was leaning toward the Josh Allen side slightly. But in a 2 QB setting, Josh Allen, his value gets magnified even more so than Dak's, and I'm gonna want to lean that direction. However, yeah, you know what? That's gonna make me want to go. I'm gonna go Josh Allen. I'm gonna go Josh Allen's side because of the 2 QB setting. It's gonna magnify it beyond the point that I think CeeDee Lamb can close or open that gap between Devontae Smith and Lamb. I'm gonna say Josh Allen and Devontae Smith. The other nice thing too is Devontae Smith comes off a bye week, and that means you just get him for the rest of the season bye week free, which is a huge advantage. Give me Josh Allen. 2 QB amplifies it too much. I was going to say it amplifies it, but the difference between the wide receivers, I'm going to say Josh Allen. Trade Bijan and Kamara and Bijan for Kamara and redraft. I think Kamara is safer, but I think there is more upside, just a lot more risk with the Bijan Robinson side. There's no real good answer to that one. You just got to decide, do you want safety? Go with Kamara. You know, he's 29 years old though. You know, slow down as possible, injury as possible. Bijan's, season's not over yet. In terms of being a monster, I'd probably say it depends on what you need. High risk, high reward, go Bijan. If you want steady, go Kamara. Sitting at 2 and 3 and have a trade sitting on my desk, A.J. Brown and Braylon Allen or Roshan. Okay, so I would take Braylon Allen. So A.J. Brown and Braylon Allen for Achane and Flowers. Give me A.J. Brown. Bye week free. Healthy, apparently. As I mentioned, though, he goes out there and fires off the hamstring for the first time. We don't know if he ends up, coming back 1 week too soon. You never know. But I'd take, if this is redraft, I would take A.J. Brown. If it's Dynasty, obviously I'd take Achane. But I think it's smart business to go get the guy that if we put him back to where he was pre-injury, he was a top 12, top 14 overall player. So, you could only hope that you would get that kind of value out of Achane, right? So take the safe play. I traded Keon and JMO for Debo. Smitty approved. I could get behind that. Yeah, I probably would have done that as well. I understand that move. Someone dropped Dell. Full load drop.
Initiate full load drop.
No doubt about it. Amazing. This is somebody that wanted to wash their hands of the situation so they could just stop thinking about it, and now they're going to think about it more than ever. What a ridiculous move. Drop Tank Dell. Overreactive Oscar. Trade Michael Pittman and Chase Brown or Dowdle. Okay, so I'm going to pick Chase Brown. Or if I'm trading away, I'm picking Dowdle, sorry. Pittman and Dowdle to get Devontae Adams. I would rather have Devontae Adams. I'd take the shot on D Adams for sure. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. Smitty, my guy, with Nico out and JJ on a bye, which two should I play? Downs, Dobbs, Adunze, Tolbert. I'd probably lean toward Downs and Tolbert for now. However, I do believe Adunze gets on his horse and has a really strong finish to the year. So you want high risk, high reward this week, go with Dunze. I truly believe that. But you want steady Eddie, go Tolbert. Some of it depends on your matchup, right? Are you projected to lose? What do you need to win? Is Wandell and Myers too rich for Dell? Absolutely not. I would rather have Dell 10 times out of 10. With this news about Nico, is my trade giving Debo for Hunt and Dell an absolute smash now? I traded giving Debo for Hunt and Dell. I do like this trade a lot for you right now. I think Debo's better than Dell. Okay, I think Debo's a top 5 wide receiver, top 5 to 7 wide receiver. I don't care if people are upset or worried about him. He's definitely that good. But he doesn't guarantee you that. He could get re-injured himself, whatever. But at the end of the day, Hunt looks so good, bro. He looks like a bona fide low-end running back 1. We'll call him a 2 just to be safe and temper expectations. But Dell returns to the elite wide receiver 2 category. So I'd say this is a darn good trade. Last night you said it was super close and trust your gut. Yeah, well, your gut was good, Paul. Your gut was good because this news definitely helps the Dell side of this trade. Traded Jordan Love, Mike Evans, and Chubb Ford for Amon-Ra and Debo. I like the Amon-Ra and Debo side. However, Kyler, definitely. Whenever you're trading a QB and you're overpaying because you've got a QB already, it's a great trade. And I'm going to have a video on this. It's like sending an offer that the other owner can't refuse is what the title of the video, I believe, is going to be. And it's essentially you're putting together a trade package that the other owner can't say no to. They can't say no to, and you make their team significantly, almost infinitely better. But your team gets better as well. And it's all centered around having the extra quarterback that other channels will tell you not to draft. Only draft one quarterback in a 12-man redraft league, or never draft 3 quarterbacks. Only draft 1 backup quarterback. These are the types of moves that help you make maneuvers that other players and owners won't make because they don't have the ability to give somebody a top 6-7 quarterback. And this trade wouldn't be possible without that. You can't trade Mike Evans and Chubb for Amon-Ra and Debo. You get laughed at. You throw in the top 6-7 quarterback that you don't need. Now you're giving them an amount of value that the other league mates can't veto. if you play in a league that has vetoes, which you shouldn't. But now you're all of a sudden making your team better and giving them a better team. It's a win-win. And not because I like to make even trades. I hate when people say that. I'll make a trade that's good for both parties. No! I'm trying to rip someone off. Like, what are we doing here? But you want to make... But this is perfect because it doesn't get vetoed if you play in a veto league. You shouldn't, but if you do. And then second, it doesn't make the person close the door on future trades because you ripped them off and they're like, I'm not dealing with him anymore. So it is good in that sense. Should I trade Hall for Neighbors? I'd probably rather have Neighbors for safety, Hall for high upside, a little bit more risk. I hate to give you a wishy-washy double talk answer, but it really, they're so close. I mean, Neighbors is such a beast, bro. But I would definitely say that, you know, he brings more safety to the table. But Hall definitely, I think, with the shakeup and head coaching, I don't know. I think they're going to get back to the ground and pound and throwing to Breece Hall, getting the weapon, the football. And that goes for Braylon Allen, too. I think they're going to run a lot. My running backs, Jordan Mason, Brian Robinson Jr., Kenneth Walker, Stevenson, Roshan Warren. Do I offer Jordan Mason for Nico right now? Or is that... No, you can't do that. That's not a smart move, my guy. That's not a smart move at all. Nico could miss more than 4 games. You don't really know. Mason's playing now. You know, Mason, you could go get a receiver that maybe is a notch below him that's playing the entirety of the year, like Debo. You know, something like that. I don't think I would go after a receiver that is guaranteed to miss 4 games. And you're running away from the Mason value, which I get why, but it doesn't make much sense to do that. Go after Debo. Go after Tyreek Hill. I'd rather have Tyreek Hill. I have CMC on IR. Keep or trade. What wide receiver can I get? You could try to get Nico. CMC for Nico might be the best avenue for anybody that's holding on to a solo CMC share. Raymond, that's actually a really good idea, I think. On the cuff here, off the cuff. I think CMC might be perfect. I think you could also try for MHJ. You could try for Tyreek Hill. You could try for Debo Samuel. Do I make this trade my JJ for AJB? I'd rather have JJ. What are we doing here? 12-team PPR 4-1. I don't care what the team is. No way. I'm trading away JJ for JJ's a top like 6 overall player. I'm 2-3. Hurts, Hall, Braylon Allen. I traded Devontae Smith Moss for Cup. I'd probably rather have Cup once this week's over right now, given the extra game. Bye week free Devontae Smith versus on a bye Cooper Kupp without full knowledge of, is he fully back? Is there a problem? Is there a setback? It's about even. Once we get through this week, it will be in favor of Kupp. So if you win the week, or even if you lost it, you know, whatever. Especially if you win the week, though, then perfect move for you because you won anyway. But I think this will be a question I answer in favor of Kupp after this week. Hey, Smitty, would you trade Devontae Smith and Najee for Chuba, Brooks, and Zach Moss? I would not. Devontae Smith has his bye week out of the way. We don't know how the running back stable is going to shake out. I would go after Bigsby if you can. Also, you know, the head coach's comments about ETN not losing his job are wild to me. And I don't know how I feel about acquiring ETN right now. I kind of feel like I still want to acquire ETN. I'm going to say it right now. You know, as much as Bigsby's a league winner, as much as Bigsby is atop the ad board for RBs or really overall, and I still believe that, as much as I'm excited about Tank Bigsby's rise, and it feels like his rise is here, there's still a small part of me that could see and envision ETN, whether it be an injury to Bigsby or something, ETN getting back into the running back 1 column. I'm not saying to bank on it. I'm not saying to trade for it, but I think there's something to this, you know, not feeling like fool's gold at all, because I love Bigsby and I'm acquiring him everywhere I can. Full load drop on Bigsby. I'm telling you, full load drop on Bigsby. Understand what I'm saying. Very excited about Bigsby. Very excited. He looks explosive. I'm just saying the coach's comments mixed with the fact that we've seen this happen before. I'm tempted to just say don't freak out on ETN, don't cut him. But I definitely think there's moves to make, but this is not it. I don't like this trade. I'd rather you go after a Bijan, a James Cook. There's other players I think that are attainable H-hand. Nico in the Mars Men League. What a bummer, man. Sorry, Terry. Appreciate your super chat. I feel bad for everybody that's got Nico, man. It sucks. Rattler season, let's go. Says ETN. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'm excited about the kid. Smitty, I send my 25 memberships to the moon. Did you just gift memberships? Gifted? Did we have a gifted memberships? What are we talking about here? Smitty, I send you my 25 memberships to the moon. Melvin, I don't know what we're talking about there, but I appreciate you regardless, and thank you for whatever you're saying you're doing there. I don't see any gifted memberships, but I appreciate you, my guy. Maybe you sent one on another show. Trade Pickens for Dell. I'd rather have Dell in a heartbeat. Easy call. Diggs is wide receiver 10 right now. What is his value now? I would say right about the same. I think instead of maybe dropping off, dropping down like 15, 16, 18, I think he could stay around top 12. But I don't know that I would be looking at it quite like that. But yeah, top 12. Do I make this trade? Trade away Debo Stevenson for Dell and Higgins. I'd take Dell and Higgins. I would. That's two very good pieces, bro. Half PPR league, QB, JD5 Hurts, Bijan Gibbs, Neighbors Dell, love it. Worthy, like it a lot. Puka, McBride, I'm 2-3 and he moves. I'd probably say no, unless you're taking Bijan, turning him into Kyron, turning him into Gibbs, turning him into a safer player. Using only Puka, Pittman, Najee. And if it's a 1 QB league, I don't see that it's super flex and quarterback. So if I could upgrade Bijan into Kyron, Bijan into a player like that while using a backup QB, if it's 2 QB, don't touch it, and your team's fine. You give the depth, everything. But I use a QB or not, or Najee, or both, or Puka, or all three, whatever I got to do to make some sort of trade that upgrades Bijan a little bit. But that's it. I mean, the rest of this team, I love. Neighbors, Dell going to the moon. Worthy's going to be increased value. Puka is actually fantastic for the later part of the season, bro. 12-man PPR. I'm 3-2. Allen, CD, London, Reed, BT, Tank, Coleman, Achan, Monty, Tank, Bigsby. Benson was offered Tyreek for BT. There's pros and cons to this. I think most people would say don't trade BT for really anybody but like Neighbors and JJ and Lamb and Chase. And then BT's like, 7, 8, 9. And it's certainly possible. Like, it certainly is. But there is something to getting Tyreek Hill before Tua comes back. He'll be on a bye this week, Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins. And then he comes back without Tua for one more week, and then Tua's back. I think we got to remember that there is a possibility that this guy returns back to top 4 overall value if Tua is out there and stays healthy. So the upsides with Hill. The steady Eddie is with BT. And I wish there was a way to give you an answer, but there's just, what do you want? Risk, steady. Chat, can we vote on this one? Would you rather have BT or Tyreek Hill if you had his team and you're 3-2? Can you please vote on that question? Let's see what the chat says, Goldie. It's tough, bro. Luke Hart, who I believe is related to Lionheart, is 2-3, 10-team PPR. AR5, Gino, Kyron, Ford, Bigsby, Mostert, Tyreek, MSJ, Neighbors. What wide receivers do you have, pal? Kincaid, Lost Rice, and now Nico. You still got great wide receivers, bro. You got Tyreek, MSJ, and Neighbors. Moves, any trade ideas? I would be tempted to trade Nico to get that elite Josh Allen quarterback. Like, if someone that has Josh Allen's like, I can wait on Nico and I've got, JD5 and Josh Allen. Like, go look at that. Mahomes, I'd be tempted not to give necessarily Nico for Mahomes, but maybe. I mean, it depends. Mahomes in something. Maybe they could give you Mahomes and a player. But I love your squad. I don't think you need to do too much. Kyron's a monster. Bigsby could step up just perfectly in the nick of time. You might try and get ETN using Bucky or ETN using maybe even, I don't know. I think you get an ETN for you could be big, just to couple it all together. You know, whether it's a Mostert, whether it's whatever. ETN's pretty attainable right now. You could even like give waiver wire dollars for them. In some cases, you can trade like your full fab drop. We got to vote BT. We got to vote Tyreek, a BT. BT's winning the vote slightly, but you know, you got to pick for yourself whether you want upside in Tyreek or Steady Eddie in BT, because he's becoming Steady Eddie. $10 hauler from Chris, appreciate you. Sup Smitty 12-man league. Kyler Fields, running backs Ramondre, Rashad, Irving. That's a tough running back stable. Amon-Ra, MHJ, Higgins, Waddle. Moves to make. I'd probably say that's such a tough running back room, bro. I don't think I'd trade Amon-Ra yet, but if you need to divide and conquer, that would be your player to go get an MHJ and a running back. You know, trade Rashad White and Amon-Ra for, let's call it a James Cook and an MHJ, or you take some sort of 2-for-2 move like that. Upgrade your RB by downgrading your wide receiver into a receiver you think can actually hang with Amon-Ra. Higgins alone for like a James Cook, or Higgins alone for an Achane or something like that would also work really, really well. I think those would be good moves for your team. Kyle, appreciate Kyle with the super chat, says just traded my Adams, B, Rob Jr., AJ Brown, and Kamara for Bijan, Brees, and CD. Have Cup on IR. Adams, B, Rob Jr., AJ, B, and Kamara for Bijan, Brees, and CD. I'd take Bijan, Brees, and CD, but I mean, it's arguable, bro. It's crazy. It's a crazy trade. Would you trade Mason, Kyron, BT, Worthy for MHJ, Reed, Walker, and Sharps? Kyron, BT, Worthy, and Mason? No, I'm keeping that side. I like this other side, but it's not good enough, bro. That's a lot of talent to give up. I think you're almost throwing Mason in for free the way you're doing that. Mason or Brees, rest of season, Brees by a country mile. It's not even close. Because Mason's, you know, seeing potential risk involved. My bad, 25-month membership of the channel. Okay, gotcha. Melvin, appreciate you, bro. 25-month. You got a Saturn emoji. Attaboy, Melvin. How do you feel about dropping Garendo for Tyrone Tracy? I have Mason. I feel like McCaffrey isn't coming back, but if he does them, I would rather have Garendo long-term, Tracy now. There's pros and cons to it, bro. Mason could get banged up in practice today, and Garendo's the top pickup of the week. The thing about Garendo, though, is if Mason doesn't get hurt, Garendo's worth, almost zero. It's the security of it. And you can't judge like 2 weeks in and go, Garendo's not doing anything. You don't want Garendo to do anything, and Garendo's not going to do anything. So you have to just like decide on, do you want security? Do you want to get that secure feeling and knowing you may never need it? It's the insurance, right, that you never need. And then you say later, I shouldn't have had the insurance. I never needed it. Like, you can't really look at it that way. I maybe drop my kicker, pick up Tracy, then try and make a Tracy trade. Also, do you rank Burrow versus Allen? Allen way over Burrow, bro. Any packages you could think of to sell Hall for Gibbs? Bro, I'd have to see your team, but like, I give up Deontay Johnson type players to upgrade into Gibbs all day long, but I have no clue what I could project for that with your team. T. Higgins for Puka. I'd rather have T. Higgins right now, but I like Puka a lot. Every week we get closer to him coming back, that gets more even. Smitty, bro, was offered Kamara, Nico for Mike Cook and Reed. Is Nico coming back like AJB? We don't know. As you heard me do the intro, you might want to rewatch the beginning where I tell you that it doesn't really, there's no way to compute that yet. It's going to come down to like 4 weeks from now when he tests it. Does he have a tear that AJ Brown didn't have? Significant tear, we don't know. I would probably take, you're 5-0. I would rather Kamara and Nico from 5-0. But it's definitely not the safer avenue, but you're 5-0, bro. You know, and Kamara is playing like a monster. I like Reed. I like that side. You trade Cook and Reed is pretty solid, but I think I'd keep it at 5-0. It'd be different if you're 2 wins, you know. 3-2, 14-man league. Lamar Fields, Tua, Flacco, Monty, AJB, Debo, BT, Kincaid, any moves. Drop Keon for Dell. Absolutely. Why is Dell out there? Why'd you allow Dell to sit out there, AJ? Did you let someone influence you into thinking he was bad? AJ, grab him. But I definitely drop Keon of this group right here. Sure. As far as other trades, I like your receivers a lot. I'd be tempted to shop Mooney right now with let's call it Monty, to upgrade Monty slightly if it's even possible. I'm thinking like, you know, taking a chance on a Bijan, getting a Breece Hall, using maybe another piece to get that done if need be. I think other RBs that come to mind, if we go to the running back board, I'd say, you know, Achan's very tempting. Obviously, I'd love to get Gibbs, but you're probably not going to be able to trade into Gibbs. But, you know, using this right here, saying Monty and Mooney for Achan, is that possible? I think it is. And I would do that personally, but that's me. But definitely go get Dell, bro. And Dell becomes a piece there, too, if you need to use it. You know, Dell and Monty could maybe get you that Breece Hall right now, because Breece Hall's dated like crazy. It's wild. 10 PPR, Josh Allen. It's funny, the people that always say, I always talk about, they always say, Smitty, no one's trading Josh Allen. Smitty, no one's trading Breece Hall for that in my league. I play in a Shark League. If you go to the Josh Allen video, trade for Josh Allen on the low, as low as you can right now, lower than he should be. There's a comment in there. It says, Smitty, no one's trading Josh Allen. But then you just look through the comments, and there's 5, 6, 7 people now that are like, Smitty, Josh Allen's done. He's cooked. The times of him dominating are over. Every good thing comes to an end. There's nothing but like negative comments in that, where people are doubting Josh Allen right in the post, right under the guy's comment that says, no one's trading Josh Allen. Not in my world. It's so funny. I'm getting punched from both sides in an argument, and neither person sees the other person. No way. Yes way. You're crazy. You're crazy. It's constant. This trade here was offered Malik Neighbors for my Jones and Flowers. Also was offered my Gibbs for MHJ. No, don't trade Gibbs. Definitely Malik Neighbors. Easy call. Cakewalk call. Skyward, appreciate you. 12-man, 0.5, 1 flex. And his question is as follows. Right here. My team is Allen Hall, Kyron, AJB, T. Higgins, Likely, Pittman, Devontae Adams. Nice squad. How do I target Gibbs? Don't trade Hall. Don't trade Kyron. Don't trade Allen. Don't trade AJB. Higgins and C-Mac. I don't think you're going to get it. If you had to trade one of the RBs, I'd trade Hall for Gibbs. And if you had to give up Pittman or maybe Higgins, I'd do that. But I try and use C-Mac and Higgins to get one player. I'd be tempted to get any of these RBs that we're looking at here. Obviously, you know, the bigger name ones. And then I'd be very tempted to go get Tyreek Hill in a trade right now using C-Mac and Higgins. That would be what I would look to do, broski. And obviously, I'd look to get, you know, Lamb, MHJ, guys like that too in those situations. A.J. Brown for Garrett Wilson. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? When you just got A.J. Brown back from a bye week, he's bye week free. And Garrett Wilson might be staring at Devontae Adams coming to town. And even if not, he's still very inconsistent. So absolutely no way in hell I'm trading A.J. Brown for Garrett Wilson. David, thank you for your super chat, though. Got offered Etienne, Wicks, and Curtis Samuel Judy for Brian Robinson Jr., Worthy, and Jamison Williams. That Brian Robinson Jr. side is crushing. Even though I think there's some appeal in Etienne right now, that side is crushing the Etienne side. Like the Brian Robinson, Worthy, Jamison Williams, like so much better. Not even close. Not even close, David. Thank you for the super chat. Dynasty says, have Nico. Would you trade Ferguson for Dell? Sure. Or Shakir. I'd rather trade Shakir. I'd rather trade Shakir. Even if you have Hawkinson, I'd still rather trade Shakir, and then you could trade Ferguson in another deal. Anthony, appreciate your super chat. 2 and 3, Mahomes, Kirk, Tank, Cook, Debo, DJ Moore, Wicks, Cup, Dell, Chase Brown, Jamo. Okay, so your trade is Jamo, Ford, Chubb, Pacheco. Wait, what is this? Dell, Chase Brown, Bucky. Oh. Should I sell DJ Moore or hold? I would definitely look to sell DJ Moore. I don't hate DJ Moore, and I definitely don't sell him low. But I think, Tank Bigsby and DJ Moore getting you an Achane or a Breece Hall or a Bijan, is fantastic. Even a, obviously a Gibbs, but even like a Kamara is tempting. A Jonathan Taylor, injured right now is tempting. DJ Moore for Tyreek Hill straight up. DJ Moore for Debo straight up. Even though you have him, I'm just giving examples for people. But I think I'd go after one of those options. I definitely think about Tyreek Hill though, not just RB. But if you need an RB in that scenario, I think Achane, Breece Hall, Bijan are the ones that I'm targeting. Offered Jaden Reed and Shaheed for Jacobs. I think if you need a RB, Jacobs side's good, meaning this is even. Or if you need a receiver, Reed's good. I mean, Reed and Jacobs are very close. Shaheed doesn't really necessarily push it over the fence either way because his QB's changing, but I definitely would rather have the Reed side if I need a receiver and the Jacobs side if I need a running back. It's a definition of an even trade. Waddle and Mason for Neighbors, I'd take. Wow, that's a lot though. With Tua coming back, it could change the game. I'd try and get something else in that Neighbors side, but I would rather have Neighbors. CMC says trade Garrett Wilson plus Javonte for Breece and Waddle. I'd take Breece and Waddle and run from the veto police, my guy. That's not even close. Took your advice, held on to Dell smartly. I don't know what you do. I don't know if you were considering dropping him. Should I try and trade Etienne and Waddle for Hill? I would. Sure. Again, there's some hidden appeal in Etienne, but not enough to turn down that opportunity. It's amazing to me people had to be convinced not to drop Tank Dell. See previous super chat. Sorry. Forgot to add that I have Deontay, Pittman, Wicks, and Ladd. I'll be honest with you, Dynasty, that doesn't change anything. Will that be enough for a week for next 4 weeks? I mean, it could, but it doesn't change the fact that I want to make those trades. Rank your top 5 quarterbacks in order, not fantasy, just in general. NFL quarterbacks. If I'm starting a franchise, Allen is still, right there. I would say JD5 right now and Allen are tied for the one spot. I think Mahomes is the next in line. If not, all three of these guys are really close. And I guess longer term, I'd probably say that these two guys are tied. It's really almost a 3-way tie for first. You get past that point, bro, and it's so hard to rank the next crew, but I'll try here. Let me just take a look at something. NFL quarterbacks. I'm probably going to go Stroud here. So we're at 4. And then, honestly, I love Burrow. Injury prone, sure. Lamar's hard. It's really almost a tie between Lamar, Burrow, and Hurts. But you could go. I could go an hour on this topic and bump them all around. But I think the important part is like JD5 is there with Allen and Mahomes. You know, if we're talking football, not. But fantasy's not far off anyway. Rate my team: QB Mayfield, Allen, running back Walker, Bijan, Brian Robinson, Connor Ford, Evans, Higgins, Worthy, Waddle, Puka. I get Dell. Why is Dell on waivers? Why did you wait? Why did you wait till now to put a claim in for Dell? Why is Dell dropped? It's unbelievable. Appreciate you, by the way. Rate my team. I'd say, look, Allen's fantastic, bro. Walker, Bijan, Brian Robinson, Jr., Connor is good. Would I call that fantastic RB stable? No. Would I call your receivers fantastic wide receiver stable? I would say no, but they're both very good. Evans, Higgins, and Worthy, Waddle. I'd be trying to couple like Waddle and or Higgins with B-Rob to get one monster player. You know, obviously you're shooting for Kyrens and such, but I think Higgins and B-Rob for Hill make a lot of sense. I'm trying to get that big gun, bro. And Hill is the cheapest big gun there is. Sarah, appreciate you. This week only Josh Allen or Kirk Cousins. I'm not sitting Josh Allen ever. Unless I got JD5 or Mahomes in there, the right matchup or something, and Mahomes is already bounced back or something. I'm not sitting Josh Allen for anybody but probably JD5 right now. Kamara, Kraft, and St. Brown for Jacobs, Olave, and Kelsey. Kamara, Kraft, and St. Brown. Jacobs, Olave, Kelsey. The St. Brown side by quite a bit. And not close, really. Had someone leave some trade out there to me with giving Nico for Adams BT. Nico for Achan BT public league. So no tape backs. Take it? Yeah. Look, I'm not one that. This is in the confines of the rules, bro. It's not like you're cheating. You know, it's their fault for leaving it out there. I'd definitely take it. Any suggestions? Kyler, Bijan, Achan, Cup, London. 2-3 record. Debo, Chase. I like this team. London, Debo, Chase, Cup, Achan, Kyler, Bijan. I'm going to tell you, I like it. I'm going to trade Bijan if I can to get into a Breece Hall, if possible. I've seen it done straight up. I don't know if you can get rid of one small piece somewhere. But honestly, it'd probably have to be 2 for 2. Like London and Bijan for like Kyren and a receiver, or Achan and a receiver, or Barkley, obviously. That's it. It would be some 2 for 2. It'd be London on a high with Bijan in order to get a receiver I still quietly like as much as London. Think MHJ, Tyreek Hill, to upgrade Bijan. That's it. Past that, I'm not touching that team. That team is absolutely fantastic. Bijan's the only weakish link right now, but he could rebound. Normal roster. Would you trade Evans and Debo or Reed? I'd trade Reed over Debo slightly. So Evans or Reed for CD. Evans or Reed for CD. I think I would, given you'd have Debo, CD, and Amon-Ra. Yeah, I would do that. It's a tough trade. Like, try and get something back, but if not, I'm still doing it, I think, bro. Mazel Hog. Any moves to make with my squad? JD5 Stroud. I'd trade one of the QBs if you can, if it's a 1 QB league. If not, don't. Achan, Jacobs, Bigsby, C. Brown, Brooks. You could trade one of those running backs, Bigsby, Chase Brown, or Brooks, to upgrade. Maybe, I mean, as much as I love Dell right now, I think he's got increased value. So maybe Dell in one of those RBs could get you a Hill. Past that, bro, I'm using a quarterback in one of those running backs to get a JT or a Cook, James Cook, or a Hill. I think it all revolves around who needs a quarterback, and those are the rosters that you can deal with only. What about DJ Moore for MHJ straight up? I'd rather have MHJ straight up, for sure. For sure, broski.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Real quickly, open the phone lines. Just briefly. Love Dell. Yes, I do too. Al from New York, you're live. You got like 30 seconds, Al. Hurry up. I
got offered Bijan. I got offered Bijan, Lamb, and Deshaun Watson for my Kyron, BT, and Kirk Cousins.
Bijan, Lamb. Say it again.
Deshaun Watson.
Bijan and Lamb.
Bijan, Lamb, Deshaun Watson for my Kyron, BT, and Kirk Cousins.
Are you starting Deshaun Watson? Because you can't. Yeah, he could lose his job.
It's a super flex. My other QBs are Hurts, Flacco, and just picked up Levis. Off them before the bye.
Kyron and BT versus Bijan Lamb. I guess I slightly take the Lamb side. It's so close, bro. BT's
Can I say the rest of my team?
You know what? Give me the
think they should.
Give me the BT side. Give me the BT side. Give me the BT side. Give me Kyron's.
Kyron.
What?
You're saying keep the Kyron and BT side?
Yeah, Kyron BT side.
Okay. And if I could get one more question in, at my other league, I can only start 3. I have Debo, Devontae Smith, Diggs, and Tank Dell. I can only start 3.
It's going to come down to Diggs and Dell. We'll have to decide later in the week.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, that side, I mean, I'm wavering on it, bro. Like, as we speak, I'm wavering on it. It's such a tough trade. I think BT, we got to be careful not to vault BT into the top 5 right now. We have to be very careful to value him appropriately, realize he's a rookie, realize he could hit a rookie wall. Kyron's just playing at such a high level, and Bijan's not.
Yeah, I'm just afraid they're gonna burn him out. I'm afraid they're gonna burn out Kyron, but that's.
Yeah, but will they even ignite Bijan at all? I don't know. And Lamb, I'd take Lamb over BT in a heartbeat, and that's not a knock on BT. So it all comes down. It all comes down to, does Bijan get let loose a little bit, even if it's not as much as Kyron? Will he start playing well? I don't know. Chat seems to say, it seemed to be mixed in the chat. The chat seems to like the Bijan side slightly more. I would say Kyron. I'd say Kyron. All right, bro. Later.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, Edgar. Igor. Sorry, Igor from New York. What's up, man?
I have a quick question. I'm playing in premium tight end league where you get 1.5 points per reception, and one of those leagues I'm hurting at tight end. I started drafting it late because the value wasn't there everywhere else. I'm strong, so I just want to ask you about Ben Sinnott. I've been holding him for like 5 weeks now, and I need to make a move, so I don't want to drop him, but they said they're going to be him or Gesicki or Juwan Johnson. I have also Hunter Henry, so really bad at tight end at this point. I
like Juwan Johnson right now while Hill is out, but barely. I mean, they're not great options, you know. But no, Ben Sinnott's not ready for prime time yet, but at some point he could be. But right now he's not.
So you think I should get rid of Gesicki at this point?
I'd get rid of Ben Sinnott right now and just monitor him, because his day could come, but it might not come till next year. It's hard to say. Got you.
Because I'm hoping Hunter Henry is going to have a bigger value.
Yeah, he's been doing well, bro. His target share is there. So and it's possible that May leans on him heavily.
Oh, I hope so. Because I really need everywhere else. I'm good except tight end. It's really killing me.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, Smitty. I appreciate
Later.
it.
Okay, Chad, trade my Debo for Tyreek Hill. I'd rather have Tyreek Hill if you're in the business of waiting a little bit and risking the biscuit. Tyreek Hill, Josh Downs, and Tank Bigsby, and Justin Fields for Jamar Chase and Achane, of course. Like Jamar Chase and Achane by a country mile, bro. DVO, JD5, AR5, JJ, Amon Ra, Neighbors, Rice, who you can drop now unless this is Dynasty. Do I trade Pittman for Bigsby? Yes, I would definitely. Other trades to make: Swift on the high, trade Swift and Wandell, or Swift and Swift and maybe even Swift and Kamara for like Kyron if you could. Swift and Kamara for Barkley, who's bye week free right now. So Swift and Kamara would be great. Do I throw in a Lab McConkey to get that done? Absolutely. DVO, appreciate you. 12 PPR, 4-1. Kyler, Brees, Mixon, ETN, Pacheco, Nico. Sucks to see Nico ban. I'm sorry. Cup, at least you get Cup back. AJB, get back. Got hit by injury pretty hardcore. Laporta. Any moves? Just got offered JT and BT for my ETN and AJB. I would take BT and JT in a heartbeat. Yeah, smash that trade. After you make that trade, I like your team, bro. I'm sitting and waiting on that. That solves some of your problems right there. That's a great trade. Smash it. BT's that good, bro. You know, that's a good trade. Rate my team: Fields, K9, Jamar, Deontay, Dell, Nico, Puka. Possible to trade Jamar for Debo, MHJ, Hurts, B-Rob. That's a lot to get, but your quarterback's feel. Yeah, you know, I would trade Jamar for Debo, MHJ, Hurts, and B-Rob. Now, is it possible? That's a lot to ask somebody, bro. It's like saying, hey, I'll give you, you know, I don't even know an example. I can't even think of a real life example. Like, I guess you could say you're at the lunch table and you're in high school, you know, and you've got a sub, you've got an applesauce, you got a can of Coke, and a chocolate bar, and you look over at the guy who's got, you know, ravioli. You're like, I'll trade you all this for your raviolis. I mean, maybe. Depends how much he likes ravioli. But, like, you can't even compare it, you know? I don't even know what to tell you. It's a wild trade, but, yeah, I mean, I'd rather have that sum total of players. Garrett F., 10-team PPR. Injuries are killing me. Allen, JD5. Thank you for the $20 hauler, bro. Brees, Jacobs, Braylon, Allen, Nico, Cup, Waddle, Downs, Wicks, Addison, Kincaid, 2-2, and need to make some moves. I'd probably say, you know, if it's a 1 QB league, I'm not seeing that it's a super flex anywhere. If it is, keep your QBs. But, I mean, you have an opportunity to trade one of these QBs, and do not get picky or greedy about who you get to keep. You have to offer both of them to see if you can get the best offer you can get. So, Allen, JD5, Brees, Jacobs. I'm keeping Brees. I'm keeping whatever quarterback, you know, gets me less, because I love both of them. And I try and turn that QB into, you know, whether it's Waddle and the QB into a Lamb or a Chase or whatever, or whether it's getting a Barkley, a Kyron, or a Gibbs. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to that's the best move you can make. Use that QB to upgrade. The QB alone for Tyreek Hill, I would throw in Downs or, you know, Wicks. The QB alone with Waddle for Hill and something, or the QB alone with Addison. Can only roster 4 wide receivers. Will you drop Olave for Dell? No. Well, 4 wide receivers, really? That's so tough. Guys, can you vote on this one? It's so easy to say no, don't drop Olave, but because I don't play in leagues. I've never played in a league that allows only 4 wide receivers. I've never, in my 23 years professionally, never played in that kind of league. So it's hard for me to really get in that mental space. But do we want Dell? We probably do want Dell right now over Olave. QB shakeup could change, though, what Olave's value is. So, kind of tough to say. I'd say for the next 4 weeks, I do want Dell over Olave, but there is a chance that Olave gets a shakeup to the point where he's as valuable. But I guess give me Dell. But, yeah, try and make a trade, bro. You know, probably hard to do, but I'd try and trade Olave before I make this move. Even if it's throwing him in almost virtually for free to slightly upgrade your quarterback, slightly upgrade your running back, like even slightly. Just like one player spot, you know, into a slightly safer RB or something. So I guess try that. Great question, though. DJ, appreciate you with a super, bro. DJ to the moon. $4.99 Stroud, AR5, Carr, Stevenson, Spears, Allen, Brooks, Olave. I'm on Raw, Dell, Godwin, DK. Good receivers. I think you need to move some of the receivers to upgrade this running back stable, bro. You just got oversaturation of wide receivers. Olave and Brooks for Brees. Hall. Olave and Brooks for Hall, Bijan, Achane, Taylor, Kamara, maybe even Mason. I say trade Mason in some scenarios, and I say buy him in others, you know? Like Olave for Mason, do it. Godwin for Mason, do it. Godwin for Kamara, do it. Stevenson and Olave and Brooks all for one of those Achane, Bijan RBs. Bijan's very, very attainable right now in trade. Thank you, DJ. Appreciate you. Dell is on his wire. He's asking, I know, that's what I said, Healing. I said drop Olave, but try and trade Olave first. And then pick up Dell. I know exactly what I was saying. But I appreciate you trying to clarify it. But Dell over Olave for sure. But you just got to make a trade. You got to try at least. Moves or hold starting week 6. Hurts, Braylon Allen, Mason, AJB, Downs, Kincaid, Tolbert, bench, Achane, Benson, Garendo, JJ, 80. Moves or make a trade. I'd say, you know, with Hurts and it's a good team. I don't think there's much to really trade, bro. I really like the team. And once you get JJ and HM back into the lineup, AJ Brown, I like it. I'm probably holding that team. I'd maybe try and get Brees Hall for Mason and something, but I don't know that I'm giving up any of the big guns, bro, so it might not be doable. But I've seen people trade Mason for Brees Hall straight up. Mason for Bijan straight up. Mason for, you know, in something like a move like that. But past that, I'm not using any of the big guns to do it. Kerry, appreciate your super chat, my broski. Thank you for dropping it. 14-team league. 14-team dynasty keeper hybrid. Dak, Fields, Brees, ETN, Bigsby, Nico, Dell, Watson, Coleman, Dobbs, Wicks, Kincaid. Moves to make. Not really, man. I mean, Bigsby and ETN together to get something is I mean, can you get a Bijan right now off the excitement of Bigsby? I don't know. I don't want to sell Nico long term. I still like him a lot unless I'm getting an MHJ. I do that. Nico for MHJ. ETN and Bigsby. What do you do here? There's not a lot to do with this team. I'll be honest with you, bro. You move one thing, it's like for what, you know? I don't think there's a lot to move. I'd be tempted to move Kincaid to upgrade my QBs. to get Dak turned into a Mahomes doubted. Like, if it's me, Kerry, I'm probably trying to get Mahomes off of all of the doubt and Mahomes hatred right now. So I guess I'm using something to move that, and maybe Kincaid can do that. Maybe Bigsby alone can do that, and because I don't know how I feel about Bigsby long term. I'll be honest. I don't necessarily feel like Bigsby's got this crazy. I got 2 Tylers on screen. Bigsby's good for now, but I think I sell that. If I could sell and get into Mahomes using Bigsby, I would. And then you're running the risk of ETN, but hey, it is what it is. I don't think that team, no offense, is winning anyway this year. 1-4. How do I turn this around? JD5, Brees, Kyron, Achan, Amon-Ra, Dell, Worthy, JMO. Honestly, bro, I keep my team is how I turn it around. I wouldn't. Your team's had some bad luck. Kyron, Brees, JD5, Achan, Bigsby stepping up at the right time for you right now. Amon-Ra, Dell, Worthy. To move any of this, you're losing more than you're gaining, in my opinion. Was offered Mostert, Ridley for JMO? I'd say no. JMO, if I'm trying to trade JMO, I'm trying to trade JMO away with Achan to maybe go get a safer RB situation like Gibbs, which you're probably not going to get. You could say Kyron and Brees is going to suffice. I get that you've got the bye week this week, but maybe you're trading Achan and JMO for like Lamb on the low, or you're trading Achan for Hill and an RB. Like, if you were wanting to make a move at all, but past that, I really think standing down is the right move with that team for the most part. It's a great team. Tyler with a $20 super chat. Tyler, you monster. Start 2, Tank Bigsby, Christian Kirk, Hopkins, Sermon if JT doesn't play. Also just traded Brooks and Pittman for Ayuk. I love the Ayuk trade. Smitty approved that. Starting 2, it's going to be Bigsby, and it's going to be probably Kirk for safety. Sermon ain't bad. He's probably pretty decent. Chat, can we vote Christian Kirk or Sermon if he's starting? Can you please vote on this? I don't think JT will play this week, so I do think Sermon will start, so we'll have to find out later. But would you guys rather have Sermon if JT's out or Christian Kirk? Bigsby's the easy call. Tyler, appreciate your $20 hauler. Let the masses help you on this one, because asking the audience is powerful when it's a 50-50 call. We got 1 Kirk vote. One Kirk vote so far. Kirk or Sermon, guys. Kirk and a prayer. 1 Sermon vote, 2 Kirk votes, 3 Kirk votes, 1 Sermon vote. Kirk seems to have the edge, bro. I'll go Kirk. Keeper League, 12-man PPR. Hurts, Flacco, Achan, Eckler, Mostert, Singletary, Braylon Allen, Atwell, Diggs, Devontae Smith, Higgins, and Dunze. I don't know that there's a lot of moves to make here, bro. Fernando's, Tyreek, or Achan and Dell. I'll take Achan and Dell. More Kirk votes came in. Keeper League, 12-man. Hurts, Flacco, Achan, Eckler. I don't think there's a lot to move here, bro. I'm just going to be honest with you. Hurts and Devontae, maybe Higgins. Higgins in a Dunze for a doubted player. Like, if you want to try and win now, if you think you can win now, I think acquiring Tyreek Hill on the low is always smart. Part of me, that's just me if you think you could win. I don't know if you think you can or if you're set up to. It depends on the league. Higgins and Achan for a safer player if you want, but I still love Achan, but would I rather have Lamb? Doubted? Yeah, absolutely. Hurts. You know what you might do, DJ? This is going to feel a little unorthodox, broski, but I would trade Hurts for Mahomes to get an extra player somewhere. I don't know what that extra player would be, and maybe it's an upgrade. Maybe it's taking Higgins and turning it into an absolute, MHJ stud as a keeper or something like that. But I would take Mahomes and MHJ over Higgins and Hurts So try and use Hurts and Higgins to upgrade Higgins with the Mahomes owner. I know that's a very specific trade idea, but that's why you're asking me, right? You're not asking me for general stuff. There's a very, very focalized trade attempt, and to me, that's awesome in Dynasty. Monty for Achane or Walker. I'd take Achane over Monty, but that's me. I think Monty and Walker are very close. I'm going to say that's a wash. I love Walker more, but Monty's steady. Walker's got volume issues sometimes, but I'd take the gamble on Achane. I'd trade Monty for Achane personally. Unless you're winning and everything's clicking, then maybe you just stand down and keep Monty, but Drake May season, says Corey. I don't think so, bro. Sorry to burst your bubble, and I could be wrong, but I just think that he doesn't have the support to have a Drake May season. Should I trade Bijan, J-Mo, Braylon Allen, Kincaid for Reed, Achane, Addison? Should I trade Bijan, J-Mo, and Braylon Allen and Kincaid for Reed, Achane, Addison? I'd say Reed over J-Mo. I would say Achane at least tied for Bijan, but maybe over him. Kincaid, Addison. I probably would lean toward the Reed and Achane side slightly, but Alonso, that's a really tough call. I'm wavering right now as we speak. Chase Brown season, says Texas. Agreed. He's finally getting going, which is remarkable. I'm actually 4-1 in that keeper league right now, says DJ. Yeah, I mean, that's got to weigh in a little bit on your decision then, if there's cash money involved. Avery says, do it live. Thanks, Avery. Appreciate you. Chef, appreciate you. Team is 1-4. Need some advice. Have Mahomes, Gibbs, Lamb, DK, Sutton, Goddard, Ramondre. That's a good team, bro. Pitts. I'd probably say with this squad, I don't do much. Unless I could turn Lamb, and I don't know that you can right now, turn Lamb into an MHJ and James Cook, or let's call it a Bijan and MHJ, or a Tyreek Hill and a player. I would look to do that, but only if you're getting a monster return. So I like the squad a lot, though. I'd probably tend more to lean. But one more piece, I don't know how you can get the one more piece unless you divide and conquer. Keenan Allen and Ramondre, maybe. Try for a Tyreek Hill. Try for a Dell would be perfect, but I don't know that he's attainable for that yet. But I think Keenan Allen and Ramondre could maybe get you a Cooper Kupp injured, probably not. A Debo, maybe. A Jaden Reed, maybe. Those would be great pieces, Chef, if Ramondre and what's his face could get you that. How do you feel about Devontae Adams for Tank Dell 1-for-1? I'd probably rather have Dell right now because there's just so much uncertainty around Devontae Adams, bro. There's certain uncertainty. He's injured. You know what I mean? There's just not a lot of clarity. Trade Dell for Pollard. I'd rather have Dell. Decline Bucky for Dell. Yes, Dell. Should I trade Dell for Ayuk? I probably would take Ayuk for safety. Trying to help my dad with his team, 10-man PPR, CD. My thoughts is to sell CD for a 2-for-1. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Look, you got Chase Brown, you got Brooks, you got Ramondre Murray. He needs some RBs for sure. I would say, yeah, if he can trade CD for, as an example that I was given, go to the Hill owner, see what you could get at RB with it. Go to the Bijan owner, see what you could get at wide receiver like MHJ. Go to I'd say Hill, Bijan, Breece Hall, Achane, JT, Mason, Kamara, Go to those owners and see what wide receiver they have, and I Smitty approve a 2-for-1 if it's the right combo. Okay. Kirkwood with a $5 hauler. This probably will be the last super chat unless one rolls in, or actually this is the last super chat. Prepping for Milton here in Central Florida. 12-team Superflex. Is AR5 playing? He's back at practice today, but there's no indication that he's playing, but there's certainly a possibility. Should I trade Bijan? Or what else was in this one? Slim Pickens, Watson, Rattler. Probably Rattler of this group, bro. Watson's playing, but like, I don't know. Maybe Rattler for upside, Watson for, I guess, safety if you're worried about, I don't know. Should I trade Brian Robinson? And Kirkwood, I would probably say, AR5's not playing, but he's practicing. It's inching toward that. Rattler's a little exciting, I think. It's exciting. Okay, should I trade Brian Robinson Jr. for Dell and Bigsby? I probably would say give me Dell and Bigsby. Very close call, but yeah, give me the upside. Thank you for the super chat. Chris with a $20 hauler. Picked up Bigsby for a kicker, okay? Need to trade 2 for 1. Have Geno, Kyler, Lamb, Evans, Nakua, Dell, Brian Robinson Jr., Bigsby, Brooks, McBride, Kraft. 2 for 1 to upgrade a kicker. I would say like Kraft is a tempting trade right now. He's got a lot of value. Kraft and Brian Robinson Jr. for one player. Think Tyreek Hill. Think MHJ. Think Jaden Reed. Think James Cook. Bigsby also. But Brooks can definitely get that done too. Brooks and Kraft. Bigsby I try and keep. But Brian Robinson Jr., I love him. I'm not trying to trade him away for anything. But I think Brian Robinson Jr.'s got good trade value right now. That's why you use him a lot. Brian Robinson Jr. and Brooks for 1 Tyreek Hill, for 1 MHJ, for 1 Reed, for 1 Devontae Smith. All those are easy targets for me with that situation. Appreciate your $20 hauler, bro. 12-team full PPR. Got all the Dolphin players on a bye. Lost Nico, Cup incoming tonight. Hurts, Dobbins, Chase, Deontay, Myers, Kincaid. Am I cooked? What to do at bench? You're 4-1, so you're not cooked. But you could trade Jamar Chase for that MHJ or Tyreek Hill or Breece Hall with a player. Like target those specific players. Gibbs with a player, Breece Hall with a player, Bijan with a player, Hill with a player. It's got to be the right player. It's got to be the right player, bro. You cannot make a mistake here. But that would be the avenue to maybe go if you feel like you can't win right now with all the injuries. But you have to get like MHJ and a potential running back 1. You have to get a running back 1 with a potential wide receiver 1. It has to be 2 players that can extremely outperform the expectation. And should I trade Lamar for Mahomes and CD? Yes, Mahomes and CD over Lamar in a heartbeat. Or add a player like DJ Moore for CD and Mahomes. I mean, if I had to add DJ Moore, so Lamar and DJ Moore for Mahomes and CD, I'm still taking Mahomes and CD. Non-PPR, DK, Jacobs, Zach Moss for Breece and Amon-Ra. I'm taking Breece and Amon-Ra. That's not close. And Austin with a $10 hauler. Last super chat. 2 big trades this morning. Olave plus Rashad for London. I'd rather have London and Monty for sure. Or London for sure. Yeah. Olave, I'd rather have London. And Monty plus Worthy for Breece. I'd rather have Breece. How do I feel? Yeah, I think you did good, bro. I think you did real good. And this team right now is ready to rumble. Maybe I'm trading Dowdle or Ramondre with Jacobs to just get a slightly better player. And we're talking like James Cook. We're talking about Achane. We're talking about, obviously, a Breece Hall, but probably not going to get that. We're talking about maybe a Kamara, right? Maybe a JT injured. Mason's a thought. Bijan for sure. Take the gamble on Bijan. Nice trades, though, bro. Very nice trades. All right, guys. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll be back later. Obviously, I'll be back for the 8 p.m. show. If anybody drops a super chat on my way out the door, you've got to repost it in the comments. Not the live chat, but in the comments, and put a bunch of dollar emojis around it and tell me you dropped it. Don't lie to me, though. I'll know because I can check. I'll see you all after more news breaks or 8 p.m. Eastern, whichever comes first, but I will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern. See you all later. Appreciate every single one of your super chats. Please subscribe on the way out the door. We're on the verge, just like 10 more subscribers. Like we have people in the chat. We have 700 people in the chat right now. Guarantee you, we have about 100 people that are not subscribed for whatever reason. If 15 or 10 of you right now hit the subscribe button, we'll be at 30,400 subscribers. Just 10 of you. We got 3 right there. 7 more, and we're at 30,400 subscribers. 30,000.4. Appreciate you all. Subscribe if you're new. You found your new home. I go live whenever big news breaks. And I also go live every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, on top of a whole lot of other times and occasions. See you all later today for sure.